Hello, you guys, and welcome to this new episode of Relatable. My name is Gabriella Tomasetti. I'm so excited to be spending this time with you. Again, if you have not watched any of the past videos, I recommend that you do. We go through an acronym that I came up with called BYLO, where we talk about concepts that I feel in my heart to share with you that I genuinely think will help you either view the world differently or yourself differently, okay? So it's videos on being present, being accountability. It's all love, loving yourself, and opening yourself up to learning. Okay, so today we're going to talk about something more personal, and I wanted to make this video because I've been on a weight loss journey, not really like an intentional weight loss journey, but it's just something that happened through my own healing process. And a lot of you have been wanting to know how it happened because I've actually lost, according to the calculator, I've lost 26 pounds. And I've done it in like 2 months, okay? Like very, very quick, in the most healthy way, in the most natural way. And I want to share that with you. I'm not saying that what works for me is going to work for you to the T, but because it is natural and it is a process of healing, I do think it could happen for you in your own way because you decide what works for you, right? So I'm going to walk you through my experience. I'm going to be very honest, very transparent in my journey. And maybe through me being who I am and sharing the experiences I've been through, maybe there's something that resonates with you. So I'm going to just go through my year so far and just really share with you the experiences that have led me to today. So taking it to the beginning, right? I had an explant surgery in March. Why do I mention this? Because there are people that still don't really believe in that. They're like, oh, but did it really affect you? Listen, be in tune with your body. Be in tune with your body. Really pay attention to it. Learn to listen to it because it will always tell you. You'll always know. And when I had my implants, my breast implants, I was anxious all the time. I had them for 5 years. And in 5 years, I did not rest one night. I couldn't sleep one night. I was just always uncomfortable. I always felt tight in my body. And I do think that was reflecting in my weight because my nervous system was just through the roof all the time. And your body knows when there's a physical object inside that's not meant to be there. So for me, making that decision, which I will wholeheartedly defend and stand up for and say to this day, it's the best decision I've ever made in my life. That to me is where everything kind of kick-started, okay? So I got rid of my implants and I immediately just started relaxing into my body. A big thing about my journey has been relaxing my nervous system. Anything or anyone, any situation that I was in that was making me nervous or anxious, I got rid of it. Because you're not here to be so stressed out all the time. And it does reflect in your body. It does reflect in your energy. So first thing I would say, my explant surgery. That definitely helped me because I finally was able to relax and feel like myself again. Now, I did go through a breakup in July. Okay, my ex and I, we're best friends. We love each other. Everything is fine. But it was a process that I went through, okay? So that kick-started a healing journey. And I went to Grecia, which I don't know if I've mentioned her before on my podcast, but she's this wonderful human being that has been helping me on my healing journey. And she told me, you have a lot of sadness in your system. And typical, she had asked me, she was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. But how many times do we say that? When we like bump into someone and, oh, how are you? I'm good. But we're never really honest. It's okay to say, yeah, I'm sad. But I think I got so caught up in just convincing myself that I was okay. I was like, yeah, I'm okay. She's like, well, she's a very intuitive person. She picked up on my energy and she was like, no, you have a lot of sadness. I can feel it. And I was like, okay, how do I release this sadness? Because I feel like I have so much sadness in my body that I don't even know what it is. And she said, this is what you're going to do. You're going to punch a pillow and get it out. And I was like, that's kind of silly, right? But okay, I'll do it. And I did it for a whole week. I started with punching a pillow. And I recommend that you do it. It worked for me because I got to release a lot of emotions that were trapped in my body. And that's what I'm trying to get at with this little anecdote or this experience that I went through is I've learned that the physical weight that we carry is the emotional weight that we carry. Whatever you don't release, whatever emotions you don't release, is the physical weight that you can't release. I have been working out my whole life, okay? I'm pretty good. You watch me work out, I have good form. I'm pretty good. But I couldn't, for the life of me, just like naturally and easily and peacefully lose weight because there were so many things I was holding on to. So I started really addressing my emotions and allowing myself to cry and allowing myself to release and release and release. So I would suggest pay attention to your emotions. And it may be for you, for me, it wasn't just sadness. It was anger. It was resentment. And for a long time, I do consider myself to be peace and love and all these beautiful things. But it's also important to say, you know what, I have been hurt in the past, or I am disappointed, or someone did disappoint me or discourage me, or I am frustrated with this and that, or this not working out for me. It's so important. And in my healing journey, being honest with myself instead of trying to be this cookie cutter perfect person that everything is sunshine and rainbows, being able to say, you know what, I am angry. And honoring that. And that's the whole thing. It's about accepting all of you, the light and the dark and the shadow, right? Dark is shadow. So saying, I am angry. This person did abuse me. This person, this and that and whatever. And just start calling it out and release it. I had a conversation with my ex the other day because we're best friends still. And, I was telling him, it's okay to admit that you're frustrated. It's okay to admit that you're sad or that you are mad or whatever, that something didn't go your way. It's okay. And in fact, that's exactly and precisely what you need to do to heal. You have to put it out there. You have to get it out of your system because, again, anything that you don't release emotionally, it gets stored. And so many of us keep trauma locked in our bodies, whether it is losing someone, whether that was a relationship or physically someone, an important person in your life passed away. That's very traumatic and it's very sad. Or you have a bad relationship with your mom or your dad or someone in your life and it makes you sad. Say it out loud, put it out there, cry it out, get the emotions out, please. And that definitely was what kickstarted, aside from my ex-plant, but emotionally, that release, I started releasing emotions. I started losing weight. Then I watched a podcast, an episode from the Danny Morel podcast, Awaken. His podcast is The Higher Self. And it was with Jillian. I don't remember her last name right now. It's Jillian Acosta, I'm pretty sure. She is a registered dietitian. But what I love is obviously the whole podcast is spiritual and energy and everything. And so she talks about food in a more spiritual way. And that podcast, I'm going to put the link of it on the description box of this video so that you can check it out for yourself. But it really opened my eyes, opened my perspective on food, on my relationship with food. I just recorded a video on intention, and really that's what it opened my eyes to. That podcast, that episode. It really made me ask myself, what is my relationship with food and why have I been approaching it the way that I have? So for me, food has always been yummy food. Food is delicious and I love sweets and this and that, right? But she talks about just being more mindful, right? So now, and she talks about also getting into your body and asking your body, right? So if you ask me, my ego of Gabriela Tomasetti, what her ego likes to eat, she'll say sweets. I love chocolate. I love food. For me, food is pleasure. I enjoy it. You watch me eat and I'm just in my own world. I love food. But I learned to ask my body, and I actually did this. I sat on my bed And this was before going grocery shopping. And I asked my body, I had never done it before. It felt silly. But I asked myself, I was like, okay, body, because we're all connected, right? And if you never try having that conversation, you'll never know, because it sounds silly. But we're all connected. You are connected to your body, right? So I asked my body, what foods do you like to eat? Not me, because what I like is not healthy. But what foods do you like to eat? Because this was the biggest takeaway from the episode with Jillian Acosta. The biggest thing that I took away from it was the way that I view sex as the act of making love. I start to view food as the act of nourishment. That was the biggest takeaway that I took from the video. And so I'm like, okay, well, if I don't need to be a registered dietitian or an expert to know that an apple or spinach or turkey, whatever, is naturally more nourishing than an Oreo will ever be. Do you know what I mean? It's simple, to the point. So I was like, okay, body, what foods do you like? What foods nourish you? And I'm not kidding. It was like a stream of consciousness. It was just like flowing, a list of fruits, vegetables, and proteins. And I got my phone and I started writing it down. And I had like celery and spinach and fruits, and dates and turkey and like whatever it was. And I wrote it down. And when I went to the grocery store, I respected it. There was a moment where I wanted to reach for something my ego wanted, and then my higher self caught me, and I was like, okay, no, respect it, right? So nourishment, my relationship with food changed because my perspective of food changed. It wasn't just so much about indulging. Now it's about nourishment. So that helped me. And also, when I'm sitting down to eat, I slow down. I've already been like a slow eater, but now it's like I don't use my phone when I sit down to eat. I'm not in a rush. I don't let anyone rush me because my moment to eat is sacred. And the biggest thing is when you slow down, when you're eating and you slow down and you really chew your food, what helps you is that now your digestive system is more relaxed. And it happens a lot. I see a lot with my brother or the men around me. You guys swallow your food. And so you overeat. And by the time you're done eating, you're so full. You feel sluggish. You hate it. You're just like, oh my God. Well, because you ate way more than your body wanted to. So when you slow down and you really just are not in a rush and you enjoy the food that you're having and you're thankful for your food, right? Because your energy towards food is very important. While you're eating, you'll feel that you're full. And then that's another part, respecting that you're full. Because I don't know about you guys, but I was raised to having to finish my plate. But what if I'm not hungry anymore? So there's kind of like a guilt there, but you have to respect the fact that you're full. I'm done. And I'll tell myself I'm done. Even if half of the plate is there, even if whatever, I'm not forcing myself to eat more than it needs. It's already full. So respect that. And another thing with food, like I mentioned, is the energy. I mentioned this because my dad, I'm going to call him out, okay? My dad is the type, right? He loves health. He's, we joke around and say that he's a doctor, though he's not a doctor, but he loves health and food so much that he's kind of the extreme. And I can say this on the podcast because I've said it to him in person. But he's the type that is so into food and health that he'll have a dessert, but when he eats it, he says, oh, this is poison because of sugar and whatever, blah, 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 blah. But that's exactly the energy you're giving it. So something that I've learned when it comes to food and when it comes to just a balanced, not even balanced, but let's say a healthier lifestyle is finding the dance of it. Because yes, you should strive to eat healthier. And for the most part, I do. But we're also here to live life, right? And I feel like we have sweet things and nice things so that we can enjoy them and not deprive ourselves from them. But it's what's the intention, right? Because like I said, what is the intention? why am I having McDonald's? Is it because my body wants this, or am I trying to like not deal with an emotion and I just want to stuff myself with something, right? So for the most part, eat healthy, have a healthy lifestyle. And when you do go out with your friends and you want to enjoy an ice cream, enjoy it. Don't have it and beat yourself up about it. Enjoy it. You know, like one of my biggest things is I love going to the movie theaters. And my big thing with going to the movies is having snacks. I enjoy it. I love it. For me, it's part of the experience. So I remember I was now in this new healing journey, and I was like, okay, because I love snacks at the movies, what is that one thing that I'm going to let myself enjoy or indulge in? And for me, it's Crunch. I love Crunch, the chocolate. And I was like, okay, I'll have that, but let me buy healthier popcorn. Let me get water instead of soda. So it's like you create and you tailor your lifestyle. What can I swap out that is a healthy alternative, and where can I indulge that I can just enjoy it and not beat myself up? Okay, so that's like the biggest thing that changed with me with my relationship with food. And yeah, just paying attention. First thing before you eat is, am I hungry? That was another thing with me. I would go many hours without eating, like so many hours. And then I'm like, what am I telling myself? That I'm neglecting myself. I'm not taking care of myself. I'm not nourishing myself. And then when you do eat, am I hungry? Am I really hungry? What am I hungry for? And ask yourself the questions. I go walking every morning. I haven't recently, but for the majority of the part I do. I walk, and I'll do it fasting. So I wake up, go walking, and by the time that I come home, I ask myself, what am I hungry for? And it'll come up to me. Maybe it's eggs, maybe it's a Greek yogurt, whatever. But I'm in tune. The more in tune you are with your body, you'll know. So that is that on food. And then for exercise, I started walking every morning. But my intention with walking was not to exercise. I can't tell you, like I said, I've exercised my whole life. And my whole life, it was, I have to lose weight so that people can say that I'm skinny and leave me alone because I've been big my whole life. You know what I'm saying? That was my intention. Era como un regaño. It was like I was not hurting myself, but like, what's the word? Regaño. Se me fue la palabra regaño en inglés. Like beating yourself up, or like regañando is when you tell someone that they're doing something wrong, punishing them. That's the word, punishing. So I would show up in exercising as punishment, not because I was taking this hour to myself. And that's where it changed. So I would get up every morning, get out of my house, and I would walk because I gave myself the hour to connect. The more spiritual you become, the more you'll find yourself in nature. Just, it's natural. It's funny because I talk about it. When I was a kid, I hated being outside. I hated being out in the sun. I hated the grass. I was like an air conditioning kid. Leave me at home with my phone. That was me, okay? I'm just being honest. But actually, after my awakening, I just naturally, I gravitate towards being in the sun. It's healing. I don't even feel like I'm burning anymore. I go and get sun without even sunblock. That's a whole controversial thing, but whatever. And I'm someone that used to burn easily. But what I'm saying is now I just naturally gravitate towards being outside. So my intention with going out walking is not punishment because I need to lose weight, because I need to look skinny, I need to look good, I need to be recognized because I look good. No, I give myself an hour to just be present and to be connected and to get sunlight, because the number one source to feeling God energy is sunlight. The second one is water, if you didn't know that. So go outside, go to the beach, take a nice shower, go into the pool, whatever it is, go outside, receive sunlight. Whenever, and this is like a little ding ding thing. If you're ever sick, the number one thing you need is sunlight. Go outside, walk, sweat, get it out. So my thing with exercising was, what is my intention with exercising. The same way I questioned my intention or my perception of food, I did the same thing with exercising. Why am I exercising? And I would notice, I would go walking and just be enjoying my time, really slowing down. And this is the funny thing. The first day I went on my walk, I was naturally walking really fast, and my higher self caught me, and she was like, "Why are you marching?" I'm not kidding. That was a thought, literally. Why are you marching? And this is so funny. 2019 or 2020, I went to Italy with my dad, and I have a cousin in Italy where she speaks Italian. I don't speak Italian that well. I speak Spanish and English. She doesn't speak Spanish or English, but we communicated the whole night. So we went to have dinner, fine, and then we went to una plaza, and we're walking, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" "Yeah, everything's fine." She's like, "Is someone waiting for you? Are you in a rush?" Like, genuinely concerned for me. And I was like, "No," in my head, this is just how we walk in the States. And I started laughing because we don't even notice that we're always in a rush. So when I went walking that day, the first day that I started walking, my higher self was like, "Why are you marching? Relax. Take it slow." And that, is what ties into relaxing my nervous system. It's so important. For me, the workouts that were high intensity, things like CrossFit, things like, if it works for you, beautiful. And that's what I'm trying to get at with everything, but especially with working out. Find something that you enjoy and enjoy it. Don't do it because, I have to take this CrossFit class because it has to be high intensity and that's the only thing that's going to help me lose weight. No, the key is finding something you enjoy, even if it is slow paced, and being consistent with it and enjoying it. That's all it is. That's why I'm saying you tailor it to you. Find out what you like, enjoy it, and naturally through you enjoying it, you're going to want to do it again and do it again and do it again. And give yourself that time. Especially, like I said, for me I needed to give myself a moment in the day where I could just relax. Because I'm naturally someone that I need silence. I'm naturally someone that I need a moment of solitude so that I can get my thoughts in order or my plans in order. And I'm currently living in a house with my family, and we're a lot, So it's like I need to give myself a time to just find the silence or create the silence. And that's what kept me consistent and just being grateful. And in my walks, I express gratitude through life, through the universe, through everything, and just also seeking guidance. It's like, it's all in one. You get your exercise in, you connect to nature around you, right? So you get your sunlight, and also you connect to God, and you connect to your higher self, and you ask for guidance, or you just express gratitude. It's so important to express gratitude. But I would notice the first times that I would go on my walk, and I still do, I see people just like really showing up, doing exercise, like frustrated. Like I can pick up on their energy. They're frustrated. And I just want to say, like, just relax, like take it easy. It's okay. Why are you showing up in your exercises that way? Like, what is the intention? Do it for you. Do it for your health. If you're working out, do it because you see a long-term relationship with health rather than, like, what I'm saying is view exercise literally as your actual health so that you in the future don't end up in the hospital all the time or you're sick all the time. Get strong because when you're older, you want to be able to stand up by yourself, not so much for aesthetic, right? But yeah, and then last thing that has helped me really lose weight, we already talked about emotional release. We talked about perception and relationship and intention with food and exercise. But what really has helped me is finally being authentic. For so many years, I kept who I am to myself. I'm a very spiritual person. It's my passion. It's not just my passion, it's my purpose because I get to help people and it's way bigger than me. But for a long time, I've been learning this for years. I started learning about mindfulness when I was 16 and little by little learning more about spirituality. Now I'm learning astrology. So like that whole world is my thing. But I know that there are people that don't align with it, right? And I was in a relationship or in friendships that I felt like I couldn't really be myself because I was thinking more about everyone else and their perception of me than myself. So the moment I started really taking up space and unapologetically being me and fiercely defending me, that's when everything changed, because I wasn't hiding anymore. And again, you know how I said the emotional weight that we carry is the physical weight that we carry. But also the physical weight that we carry is a way to hide. It's a way to create barriers. It's a way to create distance. So the moment I started really being authentic with who I am and how I show up in the world, and being authentic in what I believe, because I'm also someone that I create space for everyone, right? I will never make you feel uncomfortable if you have different beliefs or whatever it is. I will hold space for you. I just want you to feel welcome in my presence. I just want you to feel safe in my presence. And I will never try to convince you of anything different, right? But I'm like, if I can hold space for people that way, I deserve to be held space for as well. So I really started trusting that. And I started being courageous in that, because I know a lot of you want that. You desire it, but then what are you doing about it? You actually have to take initiative. You actually have to show up and create that for you. It's kind of like we don't want people to disrespect us, but then we allow it. So like we're the ones that are responsible for creating that boundary, right? So it's the same thing. Like, you want to be held space for, or you want people to hold space for you, you have to show up and take space so that people can hold the space for you. You know what I mean? So it's been a culmination of all those things. That is what has helped me. And I've lost weight in 2 months, really, like in a short amount of time, in the most natural way. People are like, are you on Ozempic and this and that? I'm like, no, I'm not. And if you are, that's your journey. I'm not here to like judge anyone at all. This is your journey. And don't shame yourself. But I've always believed that there is a natural way. And here's the thing. This is the biggest thing. You're not going to be perfect at it. I've learned all these things. I've adjusted my lifestyle. I've changed my lifestyle because I've learned all these things. And I'm still finding ways to not create a balance, because the thing I've learned with the word balance is that to balance things, there's a certain manipulation. And the truth is that life is a dance. That's why my whole acronym is BAILO. Because life is a dance, and there's naturally highs and lows. There's naturally give and take. There's all these things. So my life has changed, right? But recently, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm on my period. Like, let's be real. And I naturally crave more sweets, and the energies have been a little bit chaotic. So I haven't been on my 100 the way that I've been for the past months. And that's okay, because life is like that. And also welcoming that is so important. It's knowing, yes, my lifestyle is so much better. My consciousness has changed completely. But there are going to be seasons that it's not as 100% as it's been. And it's okay. It's having those moments where you're not so hard on yourself either. And then you can pick it back, as long as you're conscious and you're aware and you're like, okay, let me get on top of it. I had my moment. I had my sweets. I had my, being lazy, or not being lazy, but there are days where you need to rest. And there's nothing wrong with resting. You need to rest. We're not here to be machines. We're not. It's so important to rest. And it's okay to have those days. And then when you feel better and you naturally are like, okay, let's go for the walk again. Let's go jogging. Let's go take that class. Like, be your best friend in the journey. Don't be so hard on yourself, and love yourself. Speak kindly to yourself. When I was saying that I started taking up space, yes, I was being my authentic self, but I was also honoring myself and speaking highly of myself to myself, because universe is you in verse. That's all it is. Your world is a reflection of your internal world. So how do you speak to yourself? How do you see yourself? You want a better reflection in the world? Start inside. Start seeing yourself in a nicer way. And, I tell myself, I'm not kidding. I say, I am a queen sitting on my throne, and I allow myself to receive. I say that. It might sound silly to other people, but I don't care. That's how I see myself. And that's how I show up in the world. And I see it in how people treat me. And that doesn't mean I'm better or worse than anyone. No, that's just who I am, and I hold space for people. But it's loving yourself, it's being kind to yourself in the process, and it's allowing yourself to figure it out. I'm sharing my experience with you, but that doesn't mean that you have to follow what I did to the T. Find out what works for you. But actually, it starts with having a relationship with yourself. It starts with the conversations of, what am I doing? Where am I at? How do I feel? Man, I'm frustrated. I want to lose weight, or I want to do this. Have conversations and ask for guidance. If you don't know how to approach something, ask for guidance. You will always be shown the way. So I hope this helps you guys. I poured myself completely into this episode because I'm very transparent, and anything that I know or gain information on, I want to share it with you guys because I want us to all be thriving, right? So thank you so much for watching this video. If you feel like this video can help someone in their process, in their journey, please send it to them. Hit the like and subscribe button, whatever it is that you do. And I will see you in the next episode. I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day. Remember to take it easy, okay? And I love you. So yeah, bye. Thank you guys.